when leaders are being exposed for being fake, a lot of times the people who call them their spiritual leaders, a lot of times these people tend to cover these people and take up for these people for the simple reason that they don't want to look as if they are not discerning. Okay, so they're operating out of pride because because they think that them accepting what has been exposed about these people will cause them to look as if they're not discerning. Okay, so instead of them just humbling themselves and accepting what has been exposed about these people, they tend to fight for these people. They tend to cover for these people for the simple fact that they don't want to look or appear as if they're not discerning. Because if they look like they're not discerning, then people may stop believing in them. This is error, okay? You are operating in pride. Now, there are times where when leaders are exposed that God may have you to cover them in prayer. God may have you to stay aligned and connected with them. But that's not what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about here is a spirit of pride, where when leaders are exposed for, their ungodly behavior, how people tend to only take up for them and cover them for the simple fact that they don't want to look as if they're not discerning, or, oh, I'm going to look as if I missed it. I'm going to look as if I'm not real. I'm going to look as if I'm not hearing for God. So I'm going to stand up for this person. I'm going to take up for this person. I'm going to fight this person. That is wrong, okay? That is a spirit of pride. And I have known leaders who have been exposed. I mean, all type of evidence was there, and there were people, well-known people, who were still trying to take up for them and say that the evidence was false, all because they did not want to look as if they were not discerning. They thought that would hurt their ministry if they, admit that, oh, well, I didn't see that. I had no idea that person was like that. I had no idea that the person was living like this. And so they think that it will hurt their ministry, not knowing that if you humble yourself and just acknowledge the truth and stand in integrity, that will help your ministry more than you prophesying, okay? You prophesying accurately, integrity will help a lot more. And so, this is just something that I have seen a lot in the body of Christ, that when leaders are being exposed for their ungodly behavior and all of the evidence is there, and how there are people who will cover them, fight for them, not because they're called to pray for the person and cover the person, but because they're trying to maintain their image. Okay, they think that they will look, or they will appear to be someone who is not discerning. And so therefore that may hurt their image or their ministry. This is a spirit of pride. This is a spirit of pride. Now, there's been times I have been connected to people, and I couldn't really see things, and I wasn't looking to see things, and then there were things exposed about them, and it didn't cause me to want to try to fight the people who had exposed them, but to pretty much just, hey, is it true or is it not? Okay, that's what you need to be looking at. Is it true or is it not? And then you need to respond from that. But we should never fight with people when someone is being exposed and all of the evidence is there, all because we don't want to look as if we're not discerning. That is a spirit of pride, and that is not the character of a believer, okay? That is not the spirit of God neither, okay? So I just wanted to share that with you all on today. And it's okay if you're connected with someone and something gets exposed about them and the evidence is there to prove it. There's nothing wrong with you not being able to see that. A lot of times you're not looking for that stuff, right? You're not looking for anything to be exposed about anyone. I mean, so it doesn't make you look as if you're weak, you're spiritually weak. It doesn't make you look like you're ignorant. It doesn't make you look like you're fake. That is a spirit of pride when you think like that. Now, sometimes people do see things in people, and they tend to just overlook them for whatever reason. Or sometimes God may call them to pray for the people, But then there are people who only want to cover people and fight for people because of what's in it for them. Okay, they're trying to protect their image. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you all on today, and I hope y'all have a blessed rest of your day. God bless you.